Oh, we got a big one today. Congratulations on clicking this video, because if you're interested in GPT and what all of machine learning and artificial intelligence is doing, you're in the top 1% of people who are going to make it in the future. So what are we doing today? We're going to talk about Chat GPT, one of the most talked about things on the internet for the last 2 months. It's insane. I usually make things about art, entertainment, editing, but I had to address Chat GPT on this one because this is easily going to be one of the most influential things on human history since the invention of the printing press. This could be the car, the printing press, and going into space all combined into one. Chat GPT is based on an algorithm called GPT by OpenAI. GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. What's a transformer? We're going to get to that. Generative, because it generates things. Pre-trained, because OpenAI trains on data that it collected from the internet. And transformer? We'll get to that, because that's where the magic happens. So OpenAI is a company that came out a few years ago, and get familiar with them, because they're going to be the Google of the next few years. OpenAI and DeepMind are essentially taking over the field of machine learning. Everyone likes to call this AI, artificial intelligence. That's not really what it is. Atari had AI, Nintendo had AI. What we really are dealing with here is machine learning, and how that separates is think of like a search engine. What OpenAI ChatGPT is kind of an answer engine. So when you type in your question, it really just brings up like answers. So now you have to be very, very careful with it. We're going to start with a disclaimer that everything that you see in this video is going to seem miraculous, but it is not the work of AI God. It's not always right, and you have to always be very, very wary of that. So let's just get into it, and let's go into the what you need to know. ChatGPT is a generative pre-trained transformer. That's a type of artificial intelligence language model that's developed by OpenAI. It's designed to generate human-like responses to text-based prompts and questions. So there's several ways to access ChatGPT. The main way is to go to OpenAI's API. You'll find all the links down in the description. Go ahead and find all of that. So once you've gotten it open, you're going to see a nice gray screen just like you see it in front of you right now. And what you're going to want to do is just go ahead and just type anything you want into the box. For example, let's say I was going to write the description of this video. I'd say my name is Josh Grambo. My name's Josh Grambo. I'm making a video about how to use ChatGPT for beginners. Please write a video description. And so this is what you'll find. And if you look down the description, you will find this very, very description down there. Welcome to my tutorial on how to use ChatGPT for beginners. In this video, I will introduce you to ChatGPT, a powerful language model developed by OpenAI. First, we'll talk about how it works and the underlying architecture. Sounds pretty good to me. Let's keep going. Okay, so when you start with your prompt, you want to start with something very, very clear in the script. Use clear and concise language. ChatGPT works the best with clear and concise language, so you want to avoid using complex sentence structures, slangs, any sort of convoluted phrasing. You're going to want to provide context. Providing context allows ChatGPT to know what you're asking. Try to provide as much information about what you're doing as possible without overwhelming with the superfluous details. This is a big one. Make sure you use correct grammar and spelling. I'm very, very bad at this. If you type in things wrong, then you're just going to end up with a lot of trash results. So make sure your grammar, punctuation, spelling is all intact. Use Grammarly or any sort of spell checking apps, and just use common sense on that one. Here's the biggest one. So everyone likes to treat it like it's Google. They'll ask it a question, and then that's just all of it. You need to treat it like it's a real person. So GPT is generative pre-trained transformer model, and the chat is the user interface. So make sure you ask it follow-up questions. If you have it write some sort of thing, have it rewrite it and see if it can do it better. So let's use for my description, for example. We have here is a pretty long, ridiculous little description. So instead of wasting time, I would say rewrite in a single paragraph. So I would just rewrite in a single paragraph and hit enter. And as you can see, it starts writing out very, very quickly. And this time, instead of having it be 3 paragraphs, we're just going to only have 1. Another big one is just experiment. It's free to use unless you want to update to the pro version. I did end up vying to update for that. Not so much because it's worth it right now, but as we know, GPT-4 is about to drop. And once GPT-4 drops, it's worth the $20 a month to me to be in early. Big one. You're going to want to check for accuracy on this one. In the beginning of using ChatGPT, when you're not familiar with how it's going to use its powers, you're going to want to make sure that you go through and do a little fact checking. So don't just rush into anything foolhardily. if it writes something, make sure you do your due diligence to figure out if it's actually true. It's very, very good to streamline some of your workflows if you know what you're talking about, but if you don't know what you're talking about, it can really get you in a pile of crap. So basically, just keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate things. Ask it what you want. Ask follow-up questions. Treat it like it's a person. Ask it to rewrite things. Ask it to rewrite something complicated in the 5th grade level. Ask it to write something at the 5th grade level complicated. Write short, long. Write it to rhyme. Write it in Cockney. Let's see what we can get there. So now I would say rewrite in a strong Cockney British accent. And when we got there, hello there, mate, and welcome to me tutorial. Oi, to Chat GPT for beginners, isn't it? It's bleeding. That's ridiculous. I'm not even going to bother you with going through all the rest of it, but you can see that it can literally do anything that you want. So play around with it. It can do a lot of really, really cool things if you just put the screws to it. And if you discover something really, really cool, why don't you put it down in the comments? And if you have any other questions, why don't you watch one of these videos?